Hi friends, I hope that everybody's doing well. When I was meditating, the name Susan or Suzanne kept coming through. It felt worth mentioning. Before we get into the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. I'm seeing there be pressure related to some sort of emotional pain that you've experienced. Maybe feeling like something is getting kind of stressful or dense even to be moving through mentally, emotionally. Okay, so we start off with the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups speaks about our desires. It speaks about things that we want. Things that we want to create, things that we wish to manifest within our lives. You want to be checking your intention space when it comes to this, asking yourself, like when you have a desire for something, when that pops up, asking yourself why and where that's coming from, and if that really is something that you want. Is that something impulsively that's popping up that is going to be in alignment with me? Is it not in alignment with me? You want to double check. You want to be filtering using your discernment with what's popping through for you. What's showing up? Okay, so quite frankly, flat out, I'm seeing there be a desire to manifest a connection, something that feels very strong. And this can be a connection in so many ways. Like you want a friend that you can connect with. Maybe you want a partner that you can connect with. Maybe you want to connect with a family member, a sibling. The focus here is that this is coming from a place of love. It's coming from a place of like, I want to be seen. I want to put myself out there and I want to see somebody else and I want to connect with them in that way. And I'm seeing something that you're waiting on. So this looks like something that's in the midst of manifesting. It's not necessarily something that's happened yet. But it's something that you want. Something that you want a lot. Now, interesting image, okay. You go to the store and you have a personal shopper and you tell this person, I'm looking for this type of outfit. I want it in like all black and I want like the blazer with it, whatnot. Like you're telling them what you want, right? And so they're going to come back with like 5 different outfits for you to try on, and you're gonna have to figure out what's the right one. When it comes to this connection that you are manifesting, the universe is going to be like, try this one on for size. How about this one over there? Does that one fit? I'm seeing there are going to be like people, there are going to be connections, there are going to be things that are coming through for you. You have to use your discernment and tell the universe like, yes, this is what I'm looking for, or like I like this and I'm trying to like go more in this direction, or like that is not at all the type of connection that I'm looking for. But you have to let the universe know through you using your discernment. This means that unless you want to, you're not just going to take anything that comes. You have to be the one, recognize that you're the one that's in the driver's seat, and you get to decide what you want to cling to, what you want to attach to, what you want to connect with, okay? Because I'm seeing like a bunch of different things kind of coming up for you, and you get to choose which one of those things you want. How you want to place them within your life, and if you want them in your life. It's not just like this one perfect thing for you. I mean, you may see it as that eventually, but it's not necessarily going to be this one thing and you just get one chance and here it is now and you never get another chance again and this is just going to be it for you. You kind of have to figure out like what works for you and what's compatible with you and like what exactly you want within that moment that you're choosing it, okay? As I said before, I'm seeing different things being kind of offered to you, and you have to pick and choose, maneuver through which of these things you want to connect with. Kind of tell the universe, like, that's the type of connection I'm looking for, that's not the type of connection that I'm looking for, and be in that space. Because it's not just like you're being served this outfit and you just have to wear it. You get to decide what you want to do, what your preference is, what you want to wear, metaphorically speaking, what you want to put on. And you have to be patient too. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. And if this is something that you want, it's going to be worth it to you to stick around and figure this out. But yeah, it's not just something where it's kind of like a recipe that's being made. You are co-creating with the universe. So it's not just like you snap your fingers and that person like appears right there in front of you, right? Not for the most part anyway. And so this is something that is going to take time. It's going to take patience. It's going to take rendering also, is what I'm hearing. I'm seeing rendering being similar to like editing. This is how I'm receiving it. And you also have to be in a space where, with grace and patience, if something is coming through that you're not connecting with, you also have to be in a space where you're not actively advancing upon that thing. So if something isn't resonating with you, it's just about kind of shifting in the other direction. Not pulling it, not pushing, you just shift towards something else. Which may at times be the thing that is more difficult to do. Yeah, I'm getting the name Suzanne coming through again. You see, here's the thing. I'm hearing cautionary tale. This may have happened before for you. You have somebody coming through and they are not hitting those check marks. And I mean, I'm not saying this to be in a space where it's like we're just quantifying people here, but this is about really looking into the qualities that you're looking for within a relationship, vibrationally speaking. Because it's not about saying, oh, like, you don't have this, so you're not worth anything. It's more so being like, this is where I'm vibrating, and so, like, I want to connect with somebody that's in that space, that's compatible with me, simpatico in a way, stuff like that, right? So if you have somebody coming through and something is going on that is not vibing well with you, like for some of you, I'm getting something about white lies. Like you have somebody that you're connecting with and like honesty is very important to you, and you catch them very quickly on like being dishonest with you, even about small things. That's going to be a red flag for you. In the past, you may have ignored something like this, and then you end up with, I'm seeing like somebody specifically ended up with somebody where like the red flags were ignored, and then you ended up having somebody that was like a player type. You felt very disappointed by the way that the connection went. Felt like you couldn't trust this person. So I'm getting a specific example for somebody here. So it's something, excuse me, it's something that you want to pay attention to. If something is not resonating with you, you must show up for yourself if you expect to actually receive and connect with what you want to connect with. So this means really being on top of it and using your discernment and really listening to your intuition. If something is not vibing with you, to say, that does not work with me, I don't want to play that game, I don't want to connect with that, I'm not interested. Because those gut feelings that you get, that is protection for you saying, this may not be a good lane to be driving in. Let's switch it over here and go in a different direction. Go down another route. Because it's going to save you in the long run. Because if you're ignoring things and sweeping them under the rug, and being like, maybe one day it's going to work out. It's like, from the jump, you knew that this wasn't going to work out. Your intuition told you that this wasn't going to happen. not in the way that you wanted it to. So you're just setting yourself up for another karmic lesson with somebody. So it's something that you want to pay attention to. Because this is the most like significant aspect of this, is that you already have all of the tools to avoid relationships and consequences that you don't want to be a part of. You already have those tools. Nothing is going to be going over your head, or like nothing's going to go by you. You have the faculties and you have the abilities to be able to sense, this is going to be a good situation for me to get into, or this is not going to be a good situation for me to get into. This is a desirable situation. This is an undesirable situation. You already know. It's about tuning in and paying attention to it. Because nothing is going to happen without your willing participation when it comes to you having the option of whether or not you want to play with somebody in this play of life, right? In the theater production. Something also to keep in mind too that can be very important. When we have in our heads that we want somebody to be a particular way, many times we can project onto the person, project our fantasies, our desires, our mommy and her daddy issues, whatever it is that we're projecting onto somebody, and then we can miss, because like usually we see somebody as like that blank slate over there. They're not a blank slate. They're coming with all of their own stuff. If you can put your desire system aside and not project onto them so heavily, you are going to see exactly who they are immediately, okay? It's something that you can pick up on. You have that ability. So again, if you can kind of put that desire system to the side, you are going to learn very, very quickly whether or not how you are mixing compatibilities with this person that you're connecting with, okay? It is going to show you, they are going to show you who they are, okay? But yeah, sometimes we get so caught up in the fantasy and like, it's a new person, they can be anything, that we forget that they are going to show us immediately who they are, what space they are in energetically within that moment. Okay. So yeah, if you start seeing little things that you feel uncomfortable with, even if you choose to continue, keep track of it, because it's going to be small things that you see in the beginning that end up being bigger, whether these be things that you really admire about the person or things that you feel, hey, that's not really resonating with me. Yeah, because I'm definitely seeing you've gone through a lot of disappointments when it comes to what you thought were going to be connections. And not that they weren't connections, but they didn't turn out to be the types of connections that you were looking for. And I'm seeing a lot of you being in that space where that had continuously happened, even to the point of you being like, I'm done with love for right now. Like, I don't even want that. I don't want that in my life. And like really feeling closed off because of that, because of not wanting to be let down again, and because of losing faith and losing trust in yourself and your ability to discern. So this is about kickstarting that again and moving to a space where you're really trusting yourself and trusting that you know what's right for you. And that if your commitment is to seeing what's really there in front of you, you are going to really see what's there in front of you. But you have to be checking in with yourself and be honest with yourself. Because, like, if your commitment is to, like, playing out some sort of fantasy, then yes, you can easily be projecting onto another person and not see who they really are, because they are just looking like your desire system for you. Or your undesirable system, because you can project either and or both. Yeah. I'm seeing this be very clear. Your guides are saying if you decide not to take the time to really go through this filtration process when you have people entering into your life and connections, because this even reminds me of like swiping on a dating app or something. It's like if you are not going through this process properly and checking in with your intuition and doing this whole like energetic intuitive process, you end up taking on things that don't resonate with you. You end up being disappointed, and then you go through a tower moment. And this may be something that you've seen repeatedly happen. Like you think that you found a person that you're going to be connecting with in the way that you think you're going to connect with. You end up feeling really let down because you didn't follow your intuition. Something wasn't resonating with you. You took it on anyway. And then it all slips through your hands because it's a tower moment, because you're building on an unstable foundation. There's a crack in the foundation and everything falls apart because of that. Now, we can rewind and go all the way back to the beginning of like, where does something happen where we get off course and I keep having to repeat the same thing? So it's kind of like tracking all the way back to, oh, I wasn't practicing temperance where I needed to practice temperance, and I wasn't listening to myself when something wasn't aligning with me, and so I went through with it anyway and ignored that. And then I'm somehow surprised that this thing keeps happening to me over and over again in a reoccurring theme, is what I'm hearing. So this is really about like a huge sense of self-awareness as well that you're gaining when it comes to who you are meant to be connecting with and what types of relationships are going to stick and stay and bond for you that you can connect with in the way that you want, versus which ones are not going to work out and are going to inevitably implode. Because you have the ability to avoid towers. Like, you have the detector for, is this going to lead to a tower, or is that going to lead to a tower, or is this a spot where I'm not going to have to go through a tower? You already have that ability to decipher these situations within you. It's about tuning into it. And it's really important to trust that. It's really important to believe that, because otherwise you're going to be in a space where you feel very much like a victim to the circumstances that you're in. And I'm seeing you be at a spot where you're like, I've gone through so many stressful situations of things kind of disintegrating and falling apart that now I'm in a space where I think it matters to me that I don't want to have to go through this any longer. I'm hearing what is love, but I'm also hearing what's love got to do with it. I'm pretty sure Ashanti and Ja Rule, is that right? What's love got to do with it? I don't know if that's the title, but that's, I think, maybe the beginning line of it. If you have this thing specifically that you are looking for, that you are wanting, if you are patient, you are capable of manifesting this. But you have to put in the time to be able to do this. You have to allow things to set up in the right way. I like to describe it like this. When you are co-creating with the universe, what happens is that you are the one that is designing the blueprint, and then you have to allow the universe to color it in the way that it's going to. I'm also hearing it's a work in progress. So when it comes to this thing or these things that you want, it's absolutely possible for you to manifest this. You just have to be patient with it. Temperance is going to play a very, very key, important role here. So you want to take your time and make sure, I'm hearing get your ducks in a row. You want to make sure that you allow the process to be happening properly, rather than being like, my ego says that it should be happening right now, and because it's not, like, I'm losing my faith, and like, I'm just gonna go after like that person over there because of XYZ, and then you end up back in this situation again because your ego got the best of you. This is about you really sitting within a process and learning how you co-create with the universe. And maybe this is something that feels kind of new to you. Maybe this is a new element of creation for you. And I mean, for some of you, I'm just saying, like, I'm just picking a relationship, right? This can be a project that you want to create. This can be related to your career. You have to place this, apply this to whatever area of your life you're trying to manifest something. And your guide's emphasizing, we need to take the time to do this right. Because that is how you are going to get the outcome of what it is that you want, which is absolutely possible. You just have to do it the right way. And that may have been an ingredient that was missing before. It's kind of like this. You want to get a six-pack and you do like sit-ups for one day, and at the end of the day you don't see the six-pack and you're like, oh, that didn't work. Like, I'm never trying that again. Like, that was such a fluke, you know? But it's something that it's going to take consistency. It's going to take patience. And you're going to see that it's going to work out. You just have to put in the work to do this. And when things come along that are not in alignment with what you want, you have to be in a space where you're like, that's not what I'm trying to get involved with. Because it's going to save you in the long run. Because if something's going on and you are taking on something that is not working, I will say this too, let's talk about this in the reverse. If you're going after somebody that is like disinterested and you're still trying to make something work, you're about to set yourself up for a big disappointment and be setting yourself up for a tower too. Because I do want to flip this around, because I am also seeing this in the reverse. If you have a desire for somebody that is actively showing you that they're disinterested or not engaging with you and you're ignoring that anyway, you're setting yourself up to be very, very disappointed. So I just want to be very clear about that too. If you are trying to manifest something with another person, their willingness is the absolute, above all, necessary thing that you need within this. You can't just manifest another person without their willingness. So you have to make sure that you're on the same page with somebody if you're trying to manifest with them. Willpower plays the most important role. Willpower is your solar plexus energy. This is where you manifest from. What you are willing to do, what you are unwilling to do, what you are willing to come to fruition. So yeah, I just wanted to be very clear about that. So you want to make sure that if something is going on with another person where they don't want to manifest the same thing that you do, that you also recognize and respect that. Otherwise, again, you are just setting yourself up to be disappointed and go through a tower later on because you're ignoring the sign that someone's like, no, I'm not interested. And if you want to know if somebody's interested, flat out ask them. Clear, concise communication is going to be very, very important. You don't want to just assume. You want to be, and I'm seeing Temperance connected with the Magician here. This is speaking with somebody in a way where you are being very pragmatic and also transparent with what it is that you are saying and getting on the same level, getting on the same page with somebody and being able to have an actual articulate conversation with them. And check in and say, are we trying to do the same thing here? Are we both on the same page? You want to make sure that something's going on that's not one-sided. Otherwise, again, you're ignoring what is being shown to you and you're setting yourself up for a tower. And I say this with the absolute most love because it's something that you can absolutely avoid if you don't want to experience. However, if you're ignoring it, it's something where, like, the universe is displaying to you, this is what happens when we're ignoring somebody else's side when we are trying to co-create with them. Because the signs are all there. It's just a matter of being willing or unwilling to pick up on them. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I'm looking at, remember, all of us have all of these archetypes of energies within our chart. I'm looking at Sagittarius, Mercury, Mars, and Pluto, Scorpio, Aries, Scorpio, Gemini, Virgo. All right, my friends, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.